Okay, hi everybody, it's me, Balkan922. The second spring episode reviews I will be doing Kaiju number 8. Now, I think this is kind of popular to a certain extent. Now, my first real reaction to it, it does feel kind of like a Godzilla Pacific Rim hybrid. In a way, I feel like that's what it feels like. Except there's no mechs, as far as I know. It does feel like a. People are definitely going to say Attack on Titan when they first see this show. They watch this show, the first episode, because it does have that kind of feel to it. But I found it to be, different from that. But premise-wise, bare bones of the synopsis, which is kind of funny. Grotesque Godzilla-like monsters called Kaiju have been appearing around Japan for many years. To combat these beasts, an elite military unit known as the Defense Corps risk their lives daily to protect citizens. Once a creature is killed, sweepers working under the professional Kaiju Cleaning Corporation are left to dispose of its remains. Kafka Hibino, a 32-year-old man, is unsatisfied with his job as a sweeper from a young age. He has inspired to join the Defense Corps and kill kaijus for a living. After a few failed attempts, however, he gave up on his dream and assigned himself to the mediocrity that provided a decent paycheck. Nevertheless, when an ambitious 18-year-old recruit named, I think his name is Reno, it's not Lino, Ichikawa, joins his cleaning team, Kafka once again reminds of his desire to join the military. Following a chain of unfortunate events and an interaction with the junior sweeper, Kafka encounters a parasite-type kaiju that forces its way. I'm gonna stop because that's kind of spoiler territory. Well, basically, that's the synopsis. I can't say the end of that synopsis because it's kind of what happens in this episode. But logistically, yeah. So this Kafka guy, don't want to call him Eren, but he does have that kind of role being thrown in there to an extent. But we start off with a kaiju attacking. Basically, this kaiju kind of looks like a Pokemon in a way. It looks very, very, very strange. But anyway, the defense team comes in. The girl, who we later find out her name is Mina, shows up with her team, and they take out the kaiju. Of course, as it says in the synopsis, sweepers come in to clean up the mess. They go into the kaiju's intestines. Oh, it's nasty. I just clean it up. But we get introduced to Kafka, and he gets introduced to this recruit, who I'm not sure if his name's Lino or Reno. Let me double check that, because I swore they called him Reno. Yeah, Reno. It's not Lino. I don't know why the synopsis was saying it. Anyway, Reno basically is very gung-ho about joining the defense team, and Kafka isn't. And he's like, oh, he basically tells him, why did you stop, wanting to do that? And the episode basically goes in that whole front of him giving up on his dream of joining the defense team. And we see he's okay with it. He doesn't really mind. But it's clear that it is on his mind. And Reno basically alludes to the fact, saying that it seemed like it's made him sad. We do see that he get attacked by another kaiju, a really small kaiju. That's got like a human face and everything. And eventually Reno comes to save Kafka, who saved Reno from the kaiju later on. And the team comes in and destroys it. And we also find out Mina's there, and obviously she has very ill-boding feelings towards Kafka later on. Now, They get saved. His pride is hurt by seeing Mina and everything in between. And then that's when this happens. They're in the hospital beds. This this kaiju's very small. It's a bug. And this is kind of funny. When I first saw this, I thought the first thing that jumped right into my mind was Godzilla versus Megaguirus. I know it's weird because in that movie, Megaguirus, if you don't know, was a giant like mosquito or something, and that kind of bug looked like that. But it basically goes into Kafka's mouth and it turns him into this weird thing. He kind of looks like he's got a skull mask in a way. And his friend Rita's like, "Oh!" They're like freaking out about it. And this old dude just shows up and calls it in. That he's a kaiju, which is stupid because he's not really, I mean, yeah, he's a monster, but he's not really a giant monster. He's, you know? And he tells even Rito that he's still him. Overall, I thought, and then we get cuts off to Mina where she says liar to basically Kafka because he didn't keep his promise. And then a call comes in for them to go kill this other kaiju, which is him. Ha! So that's where the episode ends. Overall, I'm very impressed. I like how what's interesting about this show, this whole topic hasn't been done like this. More specifically, it hasn't been done in anime like this. Because, you know, you got movies like Pacific Rim and obviously Godzilla, Gamera, but they don't really show you them taking apart kaijus. I mean, they do in Pacific Rim, but that's a completely different story. You know, a whole nest of eggs that are, you know, different. But to see it in an anime is kind of interesting. I thought it was a very interesting concept. Them taking apart the kaiju, them defeating the kaiju. It's kind of interesting to see these facets being explored in the world at large. So, yeah, I'm very intrigued by it. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 just because of how good the animation is and the music and the characters is pretty interesting. And the concept does tickle me a bit. Now, it does feel like Attack on Titan. It does. I'm not going to lie. It does feel that way, but in a different way. Because even though it does feel that way, that it is like that, the fact of the matter is, the material is not the same. It's not. Because they're not behind walls. So it's more like they're defending the city from giant monsters. That's basically what it is. But I like what I see so far. When I saw the initial reaction of this was coming out in the spring, I thought to myself, yeah, I'll review this. Because there really wasn't anything else to review. I mean, I could have done Spice and Wolf. I could have done any of the others. But I thought this really was in my wheelhouse. Especially after seeing Godzilla and Kong. I kind of am looking forward to seeing more other kaijus being introduced in this show as we go along. Hopefully, I don't think it's going to be, it's probably going to be the usual 12, 13 episodes. But I am very intrigued. I want to see this guy, this Kafka just like, he starts going in and just going ham on things because it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know if I'm wondering, does he grow? Is he just that size as a kaiju, or does he grow in size to fight other larger, more powerful kaijus? You know, that's going to be interesting to see if they pull that off. But it's been Bankai 922. Kaiju number 8. Can I call this the anti-Godzilla? The anti-Godzilla anime? Who knows? Maybe it is. I'll see you guys later. Peace.